Adjourn. I can call the member for Moreton.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to speak on the fantastic new opportunities for this nation contained in the National Cultural Policy for a Creative Australia announced by the Minister for the Arts, the Honourable Simon Crean. Creative Australia, the new National Cultural Policy, is a $235 million vision and strategy to place arts and culture at the centre of modern Australian life. It will create jobs and encourage a new generation of artists and creative industry businesses with sweeping reforms to how governments support the arts, our cultural heritage and our creative industries. My electorate in Queensland is full of vibrant creative groups and industries. Now, these industries help define who we are and tell our many and varied Australian stories. In Sunnybank, where my electorate office is, I've seen many astounding performances from the World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated drummers group, to name but one, and I'd like to particularly thank Melody Chen and the new president of World Arts and Multicultural, Tina Lay, and wish her well in her endeavours. The African Seniors group came to a multicultural dinner we held a few years back and performed a spectacular traditional dance for the mixed audience. At the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year festivities, there were spectacular displays of light, dance and song all across my electorate for all of February. Not a community that wants to have a New Year's Eve that lasts one night. Instead, we had 2 or 3 weeks of celebrating the new year, the year of the snake. As I'm sure you know, Speaker, as a snake myself. A truly spectacular time of year in our community, particularly amongst the Chinese diaspora. I've attended an event just on Friday with the Minister Warren Snowden, or the man with the mo as he's known, at the Murray School in my electorate, a private school where young Indigenous Australians performed traditional dances and proudly showed us their customs and culture. Of course, one of the South Side's biggest promoters of the arts is our local schools. Every school in my electorate of Moreton is strongly connected to the arts, ranging from some fantastic school choirs, some great bands, some quartets, some creative arts groups, theatre and musicals. And I know it's dangerous in an election year to select a few, but I'll risk it and name particularly some performances that I've recently seen this year, where I particularly mention McGregor State School and State High Schools. The Runcorn State High School, their version of Adele's Rolling in the Deep is still with me, and Crean State High, who've also performed admirably in some recent band challenges. Minister Crean's Creative Australia policy recognises that we must update our strategies towards our cultural policy. Major changes are occurring throughout the cultural sector with the advances in digital communication, and because more Australians are actively participating in cultural activities. We come from all around the world except for our Indigenous Australians, and it seems that our searching for our identity is more important. The policy sets a long-term agenda for personal growth around 5 core goals, with 11 pathways for action that provide a strategic framework to drive our national creative capacity. Now, this is a smart investment of dollars in jobs and culture combined together. They dovetail nicely also with our Asian Century agenda. This policy will guide funding and support, recognising the centrality and significance of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures in our national life, but will also encourage creative expression, recognise the role of the artist and connect the arts to national life for a social and economic dividend. It's good for the national soul, but also good for the national wallet. Minister Crean has announced new legislation backed by an investment of $75 million in new funding for the Australian Council over 4 years. And this initiative has been widely supported by the arts community, as anyone that read the weekend papers would have noticed. One of the great things about this funding is the variety of opportunity it presents for all, that are so inclined who are Southside residents. The funding is spread over avenues including training, language resources, an Arts Ready program, the Creative Young Stars program, something which I'll speak about in the future, digital screen platforms, the Art Start program, an Indigenous visual arts program, regional development funding and more. The arts are a strong passion of mine, particularly literature and music, and I want to encourage all of those in my electorate to use this great initiative to their advantage. Young Australians are also very passionate about their music, design and the arts, as they are about sports. So the Gillard Labor government has designed a way of giving them real opportunities like the current Sporting Chance grants that are in place to train for jobs in rapidly growing service and creative industries which build on this passion. Through Creative Australia, the Gillard Labor government has created opportunity and support while producing excellence, creating jobs, creating prosperity, creating opportunity and creating unique Australian
The question
stories.
is the House to now